And so we read in verse 8 of Revelation 5, when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. So he's a lamb, the Lamb of God that was slain before the foundation of the world, and he's a lion. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The lamb and the lion are one. It's Jesus Christ. It says, each having a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sing a new song saying, this is saying to the Lamb, to the Lion of Judah, you are worthy, Jesus, to take the scroll, to open its seals. For you were slain and have redeemed us to God by your blood, and out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and have made us kings and priests, or a kingdom of priests to our God, and we shall reign on the earth. Verse 12, worthy is the Lamb who was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing, and every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, I heard saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be to him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb forever and ever. Jesus is being worshiped as God in heaven in this scene, because Jesus is God and only God can receive worship. And so, and he is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He is a lamb that was slain for the sins of the world, but he is also a lion who is going to come back and who is going to judge. And the Bible tells us that on that day, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Everyone, even Satan himself, is going to have to bow down before Jesus on that day. Everyone, including the demons, everybody. And they're all going to have to bow down before Jesus and declare that he is Lord of all, the King of kings and the Lord of lords. And so he is the Lion of the tribe of Judah who is going to come back and who is going to save his people. And so we begin to see here a dual fulfillment of this prophecy, as is often the case with Isaiah's prophecies. There was a local fulfillment, a fulfillment that happened in the lifetime of the hearers or shortly thereafter. And then there would be a future fulfillment that is still yet future for us, which is when Jesus Christ returns at the end of the tribulation period, at the Battle of Armageddon, in order to save Israel from the Antichrist and to save his people. We read in verse 5, Isaiah 31:5, like birds flying about, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending, he will also deliver it. Passing over, he will preserve it. So he's like a lion that is going to fight for his people. He's going to come down to fight for Mount Zion. That's another name for Jerusalem and for its hill. And he's going to be like birds flying about, like birds flying about. So the Lord of hosts will defend Jerusalem. Defending it, he will deliver it. Passing over it, he will preserve it. And we know that an angel of the Lord came, and an angel of the Lord wiped out 185,000 of the Assyrian soldiers after this prophecy was given. Certainly that was a fulfillment of this prophecy. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to fight. They didn't have to lift a finger to fight against the Assyrians. God did the fighting for them. The modern state of Israel actually looks at this prophecy in an interesting way. In 1917, when the Turkish Empire was collapsing at the end of World War I, the Ottoman Turks had ruled for 400 years over Jerusalem. Muslim Ottoman Turks from Turkey had ruled over the Ottoman Empire from 1517 until 1917, 400 years. And at the end of World War I, the Ottoman Empire was just collapsing. And so they were losing everything that they had gained, and they were basically losing their empire. And they were trying to hold on to Jerusalem because the Ottoman Turks and the Muslims had controlled Jerusalem for 400 years. And of course, the Christians want control, the Muslims want control, the Jews want control, everybody wants control of the holy city of Jerusalem. And so when the British were coming in to conquer Jerusalem in 1917, General Allenby, who was a Christian man, who was the general of the British Army at the time, he did not want to bomb Jerusalem because it's a holy city. It's a 2,000-year-old city. It's where Christ was. And he was a Christian. And so he had his airplanes, and he had planes flying over to surveil to where they were going to pinpoint and target the enemy's locations, and they were going to bring the artillery in, and they were just going to blast the old city of Jerusalem to smithereens in order to drive the Ottoman Turks out like they do in war. But this general did not want to have to fire any shots. He didn't want to have to destroy the city in order to take it from the Turks. And what happened is when the Ottoman soldiers, or the Ottoman army, who had already been badly beaten and their empire was collapsing anyways at this point, they probably were pretty hopeless about winning this battle. When they saw the planes flying over, they became scared that these planes were going to start dropping bombs on them. And so overnight, they all left the city of Jerusalem. They just fled overnight. The British came in the next day and they were all gone. The Ottoman Turks were gone. They just abandoned all their positions and they gave up the whole city without a fight. And the Jews look at this as a prophecy of this, that God said he would protect Jerusalem like birds flying about, so the airplanes flying over. So will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending, he will also deliver it. Passing over it, he will preserve it. It was completely preserved in 1917. Not a shot had to be fired in that sense to bomb them out of there. There were shots that were fired in Jerusalem. You could still see the bullet holes in the walls there from some of the firefights. But it wasn't bombed. It wasn't shelled. And so the Jews looked to this as a fulfillment of this prophecy in modern times.